Wild. They moved an inch.
It's aliens. They took them all.
I gotta get out this house. I'm trying to save you. My brother is out there.
I don't think they took.
Nope is imagined as a mind-bending sci-fi thriller that blurs the line between spectacle and dread, curiosity and terror. From the opening moments, the world feels familiar, grounded in everyday life, yet something unseen lurks beneath the surface of normality, waiting to reveal itself. Rather than relying on traditional jump scares or over-the-top effects, the story unfolds like a slowly tightening grip on the audience, building tension through unanswered questions, eerie phenomena, and the growing realization that what we see is often just a fraction of what is real. The tone is unsettling, philosophical, and unpredictable, asking not just what is out there, but what it means to witness the unknown and still stand unchanged. At the heart of the story is a family struggling to maintain their livelihood and make sense of a series of inexplicable events unfolding around them. They work together at a secluded ranch where silence and space once offered solace but now amplify the strange occurrences they cannot explain. The location itself feels alive, open skies, barren fields, and endless horizons, but this freedom is deceptive, concealing patterns and presences that defy logic. Their world becomes a puzzle they never ask to solve, forcing them to confront phenomena that challenge everything they believed about reality. The family members are ordinary, people with ordinary dreams and burdens, yet each possesses a distinct response to the unknown, shaping their interactions and decisions. One is pragmatic and grounded, focused on tangible problems and the daily grind of keeping the ranch viable. When strange shadows flicker at the edge of sight, or objects move in ways that defy explanation, they instinctively seek logical answers, refusing to accept mystery until irrefutable evidence compels them. This skepticism becomes both a strength and a vulnerability, grounding the audience in realism even as the world around them shifts into the surreal. Another family member is more sensitive to patterns that others dismiss. They notice subtle changes in light, shifts in sound, and distortions in common routines that seem innocuous to others. What might seem trivial to an outsider, a reflection out of place, a bird's unexpected descent, a cloud formation that lingers too long, becomes in their mind a thread worth pulling. They balance intuition with fear, driven by a need to understand rather than ignore what is happening. This sensitivity pulls the family deeper into the mystery, even when others resist. The third member brings a layered emotional response, a mixture of skepticism, fear, and fascination. They recognize that their world has shifted in ways that defy explanation, yet they wrestle with denial, questioning whether the strange events are real or imagined. Their struggle becomes a human mirror for the audience, embodying the tension between wanting answers and fearing them. They oscillate between bravery and retreat, grounding the story's emotional core as the family confronts phenomena that test the limits of belief and reason. The plot ignites when the first undeniable event occurs, a moment that forces all three to acknowledge that their world is changing in ways that cannot be dismissed as coincidence. What starts as subtle ripples soon expands into patterns that cannot be ignored, glimpses of unidentified shapes in the sky, inexplicable sounds that defy natural explanation, and moments where time seems to stretch or distort. The story treats these events not as horror staples but as encounters that disrupt perception, forcing both characters and audience to question what is real and what is possible. As the family begins to document, discuss, and confront these experiences, they are drawn deeper into a phenomenon that feels both external and disturbingly close. They analyze footage, compare observations, and attempt to communicate with forces they do not understand. This engagement creates a mounting tension, not because of obvious threats, but because of uncertainty, the fear of what happens when knowledge is just out of reach and yet too close to ignore. The narrative creates a sense of unraveling, where each answer seems to birth new questions. External forces enter the story as well, other observers, scientists, and opportunists who are drawn by the inexplicable occurrences. Some seek to exploit what they do not understand, others to prove it, and a few to contain it. Their presence adds conflict, as the family must navigate not just the unknown phenomenon, but also the human reactions it triggers. These outside influences reflect broader questions about ownership of knowledge, fear of the unfamiliar, and the ethical quandaries of exposing or containing the unexplained. Visually, the world of this imagined version of Nope is steeped in wide open landscapes, shifting light and the vastness of sky that feels both liberating and ominous. The sky, once a symbol of freedom, becomes a canvas of ambiguity, where shapes appear fleetingly and patterns form only to vanish without explanation. The cinematography captures the beauty of emptiness and the terror of the unknown, using silence, lingering shots, and minimalistic sound, designed to amplify moments where the absence of certainty becomes the central force of fear. The antagonist, or the phenomenon itself, is not defined by a clear shape or malicious intent, but by its resistance to understanding. It remains elusive, appearing at the edges of perception, challenging the characters to question whether seeing is believing or whether belief shapes what we see. This ambiguity makes the unknown more terrifying, not because it seeks violence, but because it refuses definition. The story treats the unseen as a presence that asserts itself through absence, through what is not explained rather than what is shown emotionally. The story becomes a meditation on fear, curiosity, and the human desire to witness truth even when truth cannot be neatly packaged or controlled. The family's journey becomes less about defeating the unknown and more about reconciling themselves with the idea that some truths are fragmentary, incomplete, and forever beyond complete comprehension. They resist, adapt, and confront their own limits, pushing the narrative into a psychological exploration of confidence, denial, and acceptance. Relationships deepen and strain under the weight of these events. The family members must rely on one another in ways they never anticipated, balancing fear with trust, logic with openness, and skepticism with willingness to explore. Their dynamics become a microcosm of how humans confront the unfamiliar, sometimes with denial, sometimes with resilience, and often with a mix of both. Their collective journey becomes a testament to humanity's capacity to confront fear not by overcoming it instantly, but by enduring through uncertainty. The story's climax arrives not in a dramatic confrontation, but in a moment of revelation that forces a redefinition of perception. Instead of a clear answer, the family encounters a convergence of patterns, flashes of understanding, that illuminate the limits of their knowledge and expand their awareness of what is possible. The experience changes them, not by providing closure, but by reshaping how they understand their place in a world that is far larger and stranger than they once believed. In the final moments, the family returns to a new kind of routine, one shaped by experience, altered perception, and a deeper understanding of ambiguity. They have endured the unknown and emerged with insight rather than fear. Their lives are transformed not by conquest, but by revelation and acceptance that mystery does not always resolve into clarity, and that the most profound experiences often live between certainty and doubt. The wide open skies remain, but they are no longer symbols of empty space. They are reminders of the infinite complexity of existence and the relentless human drive to understand what lies just beyond sight. Overall, this imagined version of Nope becomes not just a story about the unknown, but a philosophical exploration of fear, observation, and the nature of reality itself. It challenges the audience to question not only what they see, but how they see it, reminding them that the universe may be far stranger and more wondrous than any explanation could ever contain. Rather than offering simple answers, the story invites viewers to hold two ideas at once: that mystery is both terrifying and beautiful, and that humans are defined not by what they conquer, but by what they choose to explore. What they choose to explore.